Header up.
Rob and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. MLB is the place to be. Rob and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stats and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of MLB Talk with your hosts, Rob and Chris, as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And also, if you're on YouTube right now, hit that follow button. We'd really appreciate that sub button. Hit that like button. Give it a share. That would be awesome. And if you want to follow us on Twitter, on TikTok, it's at NYMLB Talk. Rob is at R. Maraska. Myself at CP7NY. Rob, we got a special guest. Why don't you introduce him so we can get going?
Yeah, I'm excited about this. We have former MLB player Derrick May on. Derrick, thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Thanks. Before we get into everything, I just wanted to mention something really quick. You were the 1993 Delaware Athlete of the Year.
Yeah, I was. That was actually after I had a pretty good year with the Cubs, and I guess they decided I was the Athlete of the Year. But I was always an athlete, but for some reason that year was a good year for me, I guess.
That's great. So growing up, your father played in the major leagues. Dave May, of course. You know, I remember seeing your dad play. What was it like growing up when your father was a Major League Baseball player?
It was pretty cool. I mean, it was like, you know, for some reason at the age of 4, I can remember just kind of going to the parks and then trying to go and get the bubble gum from the bowl that they had. So they always had and we'd have like stuffed pockets, and we'd go run underneath the stadium and play with different other kids. My brother and I, we did that, and so we'd run around the stadium and just have a lot of fun. But yeah, it was pretty cool. I mean, we got to go to work with our dads, and we had fun doing it.
Yeah, that must be great. Go ahead, Chris. You wanted to say something?
Yeah, Derrick, your first couple of years, you came up as the September call-up. You weren't, the rookie season was not till like 92, but those first couple of years and even your rookie year, was there added pressure on you to come up and to succeed right away? Because you were a high draft choice anyway, number one. And number two, the teams maybe weren't playoff caliber teams. So is there more pressure on you, or is it the same? What did you feel?
Yeah, when I guess like in 1989, we actually were in the playoffs. So I don't know if you remember that, but they were actually talking about calling me up then, and they're like, no, he's got to play, let him, So I was kind of disappointed at that, but I was like, okay, I understand that. But then, like in 90, we weren't that great, and I was like, okay, well, they'll let me play and stuff like that. So it wasn't, as far as pressure-wise, I already had that pressure already coming up through. I was already used to it in a way, but just kind of I put more pressure on myself, than a lot of other people did, and I was more like a perfectionist. I always wanted to do better and get better. So, but when I did get called up, I eventually got called up in 90. I think I got to play like 17 games, but I thought I did pretty good, and then the next year they got George Bell, and then they're going to trade me somewhere, so I guess I'm planning to get traded, and then that happens, and I got hurt. I broke my hamate in 91, and so I was just trying to make something out of a year that I had no idea what was going on, like from that standpoint, professionally, like whether I would be on the Cubs or anywhere else, because I was they had George Bell, so they had Andre Dawson, George Bell, and Jerome Walton in center field. So and Dwight Smith. So I was like, well, I'm actually going to get traded somewhere. So basically, that's what I was playing for. And then eventually, I did get called up in '91 too. I didn't play that much. And then in '92, the new general manager, which I went through many general managers, a few general managers with the Cubs, and then Larry Himes, he traded George Bell for Sammy Sosa. Yeah, you got Sammy Sosa and a couple other, Greg Hibbert and Osamaker and all those guys. So everything kind of fell into place for me then. So that was kind of that's how it worked out. But yeah, I put more pressure on myself than anybody else.
Yeah, and there's one of your baseball cards. That's a Dunruss card. But what was it like the first time you see yourself on a Topps card or any baseball card?
Yeah, so it was an upper. Well, it was the first one that I did take was that I did see was an upper deck card, but I also took a Topps card. I had a Topps card too. But the story with the Topps card was that I was in spring training, and the new photographer, he was like, he didn't have anybody, I guess anybody like taking his picture or or trying to get the picture taken by him. So I walked over to him. I said, he goes, can I take your picture? I said, yeah, sure. So he took the picture, and then he sold it to Topps. Then I guess Topps. Then he did that. They liked his work, and I guess he was the Topps photographer for years. So fast forward to I was with the Cardinals. I was the coach for the Cardinals, a hitting coordinator, and he comes in. He's like, you put my daughter through college because I was his first picture. So that was the story that I have. So I was like, I like that. But I remember his face. I always remember.
That is a pretty cool story. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, you said that they had traded for Sosa, Sammy Sosa. How was that? Like, we know what it became, but right. In '92, Sosa was still an unknown at that time. How was that? How did that all play out?
Yeah. So we were the same age, but we kind of were like, okay, we're gonna be like the outfielders, because we kind of felt like we were, okay, we got rid of George Bell. George Bell's not there, and then he came over. So Sam is the guy, and then we had Andre Dawson, right? We had Hawk. Mm-hmm. So Sammy was playing center field, and I would play left, and so we kind of worked out together. And then Sammy was like a guy who, he worked hard. He was a hard worker. He just everything he did, I tried to do as much as he did, and we kind of did watch the video. We lifted weights. We did all that stuff. And he just kind of, on '93, he just kind of took off. Like, he just kind of started to feel like his skill level just started to take off, and, where it was like, wow, it was fun to watch. But yeah, I was impressed with him, all the time. And he'd do some crazy stuff, but he was very entertaining, great teammate though, and wouldn't trade it for the world.
And when you were on the Cubs, Don Zimmer was your manager, right?
Yeah, he was one of my managers. Yeah, Don Zimmer. So the thing with him, like, he would scare me. Like, I wouldn't never let anybody know that, but so I got called, like, my first big league camp. I was in '89. So Don Zimmer, we go on one of our trips in spring training, and we're playing the Milwaukee Brewers. So I'm not starting. So he says, so basically, like, at the end of the game, Brewers are winning, and they bring in police sack to get work. And so he's like, Derrick, go ahead. So I'm like, okay, go ahead. So we basically, I get up there, I get a base hit, and then the game is over. We lose, but we didn't lose many of that game. We did actually, but we didn't. We won a lot. But anyway, so I get on the bus, and so Don Zimmer goes, Derrick May, get up here. I'm like, what did I do? Like, what's going on? It is. And then he sat down. Then I sat down next to him. He's like, you know what you just did? You know what you just did? He said, you just got a base hit of one of the best relievers in the game. And I was like, oh, well, thank you. I was scared to death. I was like 19 or 20 back then. But that was funny. But yeah, he was scared to death. Daylight out of me.
Yeah, I could see how Zim could be a scary guy sometimes.
Yeah, he looked at you, looking at you. But yeah, he was good.
Definitely. How was it, Wrigley Field? We always hear about Wrigley Field, but how was it actually playing, as a Cub in Wrigley Field?
Well, it's a lot of people, there's a misconception about it. Like they're like, oh, you can just hit the ball out anytime. You can't. You just can't. So it's just like we have the wind. There's always a wind that blows. There's a crosswind. It blows in, blows out to right. So there's always a different wind. So it depends on the day when it flies, right? So that's the thing. So if you get it when it's blowing in, you're not hitting anything out.
Nope.
Like you're just not. I mean, I've had it where like I had a story with Jeff Bagwell. So I was playing left. He hit one. I swear it went over the fence, and then it came back, and I had to run and catch it like this way, like coming back from over the fence back and caught it. So I get to first after I get a base hit because I was like, you got to keep it low. I always tell him, like, you got to keep it low, right? That's the only way he's going to get hit there. So I get on first, and Bagwell says, he's like, yeah, that's all I got. I can't hit it. I said, you got to keep it low. You just got to keep it low. And so the next time he gets up, he does it again. He hits another one. He hits it over the fence to come back, and I catch it again. And then he was like, and then I get on base, got a base hit. And I said, then I get to him, I look at him, he said, you got to keep it low. So, yeah, you got to keep the ball low and when the wind's blowing in. But it was, the wind would blow in, but the grass was thick because at that time in '92, when I played with the Cubs with Greg Maddox, he did not want the grass cut. He wanted to keep it thick, so you couldn't get the ball through the infield. Like, so he always said, "Do not touch that grass." Like he did not want you to touch that grass. He didn't want it to. So it would help us offensively, but it would hurt him if the balls could get through. So we wouldn't do it. So, but he was always smart that way. He was always thinking that way too. So,
yeah, go ahead, Chris.
You hit your first home run September 19th, 1990. Against the Pirates. Ted Power was the starter. Yes. And in that game, Bonds hit 2 home runs. Was that one of the games where the wind was blowing out of Wrigley? Or do you remember the day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember the day. I mean, the wind was actually blowing. It was a crosswind. So as long as you got it up in there, like mid to right center, it's got to take it out. So all you had to do is get it up. And I remember Ted Power, and that game, and that at bat, I kept fouling it all. I got to like 3-2. It was 0-2, and then I got to 3-2, and then it kept fouling it off. I had saw 12 pitches, and then he left one up over the plate, and I hit it out, and I hit a 3-1 homer. But yeah, I remember that day. Definitely.
Yeah, well, how could you forget your first major?
Yeah, that must have been awesome.
Yeah,
at Wrigley too. So
yeah, and I never got that ball back. I never got it back.
Oh.
I hit it across the street. So, but nobody ever brought it back. So
Nah, that's too bad. I know that that would have been great if you could have got that back.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, I would like it.
okay, so growing up with your father as a major leaguer, what team was your favorite team? And did you have to keep switching teams because when your dad got traded?
Well, no, I mean, my favorite team that my dad played on was Milwaukee, was the Brewers. But after that, after my dad retired, I was actually a Mets fan. To tell you the truth.
Wow, look at that.
Well,
See, good.
we had WOR here, right, in Delaware.
Yes.
So
Yep.
I would watch the Mets all the time. I'd watch Strawberry. I'd watch Gooden. I'd watch Keith Hernandez. I'd watch Tim Tuffle. All those guys back in the day. So it was, and Gary Carter when he was over there. But yeah.
See, there you go. I like Derrick even more now.
Yeah.
So your father actually got traded for Hank Aaron.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's, to me, I forgot about that, and then I was just doing a little research. I said, that's right, Dave May got traded for Hank Aaron. I mean, that's pretty amazing if you think about it. Even though I know it was the end of Hank's career, but that's kind of amazing, don't you think?
Yeah, looking back, yeah, definitely. I mean, it just kind of then you kind of knew Hank Aaron was, he was Hank Aaron, but now it's like even more because of his accomplishments. But yeah, I think we didn't realize it then, but now kind of looking, that was really, really good, really nice, really great actually. But we got traded to Atlanta, and one of the first people we meet is Dusty Baker, right? And so Dusty Baker was one of my dad's best friends, and Ralph Garr was on that team, and who else was like Biff Pocoroba? I can remember that name.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. That's what. Yeah,
Tom Paciorek and all those guys. So yeah, it was pretty good. But yeah, that was another team that I liked a lot too. So, but yeah, we moved to Atlanta. We met Hank Aaron's his family, and then yeah, it was pretty nice, pretty awesome.
One other thing I gotta bring up about your father. Your father played for the '69 Orioles, the team that lost to the Miracle Mets, which I'm like, oh man, his father did play for the '69 Orioles. Now that I remember.
Yeah.
We have a viewer. He wants to know. He said he knows you played with Maddox, but how did you do when you had to face him and also Glavine and Smoltz? We got a Brave fan out there.
Yeah, I didn't do too good against. Well, nobody hardly did.
Yeah, nobody did.
But yeah, that was a tough staff. I mean, you knew you were gonna get. You would try to get one hit somewhere with them, but yeah. I didn't get too many hits off Maddox. Maddox was tough. He was a guy who, like I said, he could sink it, cut it, had the Mr. Piran ball change up. But he was in. Smoltz was a guy who just was, he'd stay away from you, stay away and say, hey, try to hit it. And, and then he'd have that and he'd split it and whatever it was. And Glavine would always get this much off the plate. So, didn't do too well against him. So,
go ahead, Chris.
When you look at some of the rosters that you played on, the different teams, you played with some great players. I mean, future Hall of Famers. Who did you maybe learn the most from, if you did at all?
Oh, I definitely took something from everybody. But yeah, I mean, I think Andre Dawson was huge. I tell people I lived with him in my first year. I was there. He let me stay with him. Drove to the park with him. Just how he prepared every day. And Sean Dunston, what I can learn from him. Mark Grace. I go to Bagwell and Biggio. Biggio was there, always there before anybody. I mean, he was at the park before anyone, and he was always probably the last one to leave as well. So, but yeah, probably everybody, and a lot of people I've learned a lot from. So, which was good.
Okay, we have another question from a viewer. Was there a pitcher during your career that you owned?
That I owned?
Yeah, that you just could hit and it didn't matter.
I mean, I always tell, like, I hit Schilling pretty well. I like Kurt Schilling. So if you can look that up, if you look, hit him pretty well. I can't really say like who else, but he was my main person, because when I got traded over there, I said, like, now I can't get a hit on.
Yeah,
I actually signed over there with the Phillies, but I don't. Like, he would probably be the one that I felt comfortable against. You know?
And the opposite of that question. How about who would you say was the toughest pitcher you went up against?
I always say all of them. All of them were tough. But if I had to say one, it would be Pedro Martinez.
Okay, yeah. I can't imagine being in the batter's box against Pedro. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah. After the 94 season, you were granted free agency. You signed with the Brewers. How was that experience? And then the Brewers traded you halfway through the year to the Astros. Yes. How did all that happen? What was?
Yeah, so I was going to sign between either the Brewers or the Minnesota Twins, and I picked the Brewers, and that was a really good team for me too. I mean, it was like a very underrated team, but it had some really good players on it, really tough, gritty players on there. And it was one of my favorite teams because it was like, we just kind of clicked. But I guess there was we had a bunch of outfielders, and Houston had a need, and I guess and I got traded over. I went from a last place team to a first place team, or a second place team at that time. But I was a little upset, but I was happy to the team that I went to too. So,
and your manager was Phil Garner with the Brewers, right?
Yeah, Scott Byrne, yeah.
How was that?
Yeah, no, he's good. He's he's fiery, just like it's like you think, but he's always a good guy you could talk to. He's a nice guy,
Yeah, you had two future Mets on that team too. You had Darryl Hamilton and Jose Valentin. Were you friends with Darryl Hamilton?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he was one of the nicest guys too. That's why when I went over there, he was one of the ones that were very welcoming. Him and Greg Vaughn. Known Greg since Midwest League, so always enjoyed that, being around him. But Jose Valentin, my man there, he was a switch hitter, and then he just went to straight. I think he went straight lefty. So, but he was pretty good.
Yeah. Darryl Hamilton did seem like a nice guy. Tragic what happened to him, of course. That was shocking. But so when you played for the Astros, your manager was Terry Collins.
Yeah, TC. Yep, you guys know about this. The Mets do. I know that. That's for sure. He was one of my favorite managers because he would communicate with you. Like, he would actually tell me, like, okay, I'm gonna sit you today. We got what's the name coming. So I appreciated that. Like, at least he took the time to come tell me. But yeah, he had his ideas, obviously, and then sometimes it rubbed people the wrong way, sometimes it didn't. But I thought he was for me, he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's good. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, that Astros team seemed like it was a really good lineup too, right? You had Biggio and Bagwell, obviously. Adding former Met Dave Magden was there, great hitter. Yeah. But your outfield was loaded with you. You had Luis Gonzalez, Brian Hunter, Derek Bell. You had a pretty good rotation with Shane Reynolds, Doug Drabeck, Swindell, Mike Hampton, Darryl Kyle. Like, it seemed like there was a little bit more there that should have been, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just think that it got to a point where when Bagwell got hurt, he got hit, he broke his hand, and once that happened, it just we kind of maintained it for a little bit, but once it got to like the end of the year, like we needed him. Like he was like that kind of hurt us, but I think he came back a little. I want to say did he come back? I'm trying to remember, but that was kind of put us in a worse spot because we had to find somebody who could step in, right? So it was, if your main guy gets hurt, that's what happened. You got to find somebody that steps in. We had Mike Sims, and Mike Sims did a really good job there too. And then, but then we got caught at the end with the Cubs, and it was like the last 4 games of the season. If we would have won like the series, we would have went in the wild card, which would have been the first wild card. And we tied 2. We went 2-2. Lost 2 games, won 2 games. That's what I would say. Yeah, and that was a crazy series too. We had I don't know if you remember Randy Myers.
Yep, of course.
But in that series, it was just a back and forth series and back and forth games, and Randy Myers blew I don't know how many saves. And then a fan actually ran on the field and tried to attack Randy Myers. You gotta look it up. And then Randy Myers got him in a headlock and just started wailing on him. It was just funny, but yeah, it was a tough series. Yeah, but I thought we should have. We definitely should have made the playoffs that year, but we didn't.
Yeah, I thought you guys were going to make the playoffs that year, and now I remember that was kind of funny because Myers just took control of that situation by grabbing the fan, and that was it.
And that last series you're talking about, that was the last series of the season. Yeah. It was at Wrigley, and you guys lost the first 2 games on a walk-off.
Yeah.
And then you guys took the next 2.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and it was back. First 2 games were kind of back and forth. We'd go up, and then they'd go up, and we go up, and so it was a good series. It just didn't turn out in our favor for the playoffs.
Yeah, I was going over the list of your teammates, and I forgot you played with Mitch Williams too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. My man. Yeah, I had Mitch Williams, and I had to face him too when he was with the Phillies. I didn't like that either, but it was he's Mitch. Mitch was I always liked Mitch, and he was my locker. I had a locker mate. Yeah, every other year, but he was one of my favorite locker mates.
Now, with the different ballparks that you played in, do you have a favorite ballpark that you played in?
The one that I kind of like, that I've always had a really good feeling about going to was actually Camden Yards, which I didn't get to play there all that long, but I just felt really comfortable there. It was one of those ones where you wish you would have, which I would have played there longer, but that was one of my favorites.
And what about one of the worst ballparks that you didn't like?
I kind of like them all, but the one that I didn't like, I would say, is Joe Robbie Stadium. When I had to play there, that wasn't a very good.
Well, that was a football stadium, right? So I'm sure a lot of guys felt the same way.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we talked about Camden Yards in Baltimore. You played there a little bit. You played there the year after, I think, Cal Ripken's long streak ended. How was that playing with Cal Ripken? I mean, with the Iron Man. How was that?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I mean, it was nice. I mean, he was one of those guys that you always watched and admired. And then, like, the backstory, like, my mom was like, oh, his dad used to be like, my dad, or they played, or it was like babysit. My mom babysit him, or something like that. But from my dad's Oriole days, that's how my mom remembers Cal and Cal Senior and Cal Junior and his family. So, but yeah, it was kind of nice to play with him, get to see him and watch him, and say that I got to play with him. So,
yeah, that's
pretty cool.
That is amazing. Another thing I wanted to bring up, you played, you and your dad both played for the Orioles, and you both played for the Astros and the Brewers, right?
For the Brewers. My dad never played with the Astros, but
not the with the Brewers. Yeah. And he actually, that's when your dad made the All-Star team, right? Was he on the Brewers when he made the All-Star team?
Yep, that's right.
Do you remember that?
I don't. I remember him bringing. So there's another story that I had. So my dad would bring back. He brought back this like signed ball with all these signatures on it from the All-Star game. He had a bat with like the signatures on it, and me and my brother and I, we used to play catch all the time, so we didn't have a ball. You know what ball we took? We took his All-Star ball.
Oh my God!
Catching that, my dad was like, "What?"
That's bad. But now I'm gonna top you with a baseball that was used. All right, my father played he only played in the minor leagues very shortly for the Washington Senators, but he had. When he was a kid, his neighbor gave him a baseball signed by the 27 Yankees.
Oh,
right?
no.
1927 Yankees. They didn't have a baseball to play with. Guess what he used?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's
it's like the Sandlot.
Babe
Ruth. You're right. Just like maybe they stole that
maybe
that idea. But Babe Ruth, Gehrig, my father, thanks, Dad. I could have had another house with that ball. But
yeah.
But yours is bad too. We have someone out there who wants to know the worst clubhouse spread. He used to work with Otis in the clubhouse at Wrigley Field.
Yeah. That's the thing. Back then it wasn't all that great. It's not like it is now. Like now it's just unbelievable. I want to say it was like Cincinnati or something like that. It was bad. Like they'd have bologna sandwiches and stuff.
But Derrick, you know why? Because of Marge shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably, but it's But yeah, that's some places were really good and some places weren't very good at all.
Oh, okay, Jay. I didn't realize that was you, Jay. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking that question. He's using a different account. Okay. Anyway, so that was the worst. What about I know the spreads weren't like now. It's unbelievable. Some of the guys we talk to now,
it's all gourmet food, right?
they have chefs and anything. Yeah. Do you remember any that were pretty decent?
I mean, Colorado is always pretty good. Let's see what else. I want to say St. Louis. I mean, some of the places they would do pretty good
at. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah, just getting back to the 94 year, right? That was the strike shortened season, whatever, and that was the first time that they brought up the the salary cap, right, with baseball, and that resulted in the strike and whatever else. Well, what are your thoughts on that whole thing back then, and what do you think of it now with the salary cap?
Yeah, I don't know if that was the only time it was brought up. I know that it was always that being talked about back then, and then we weren't going for that, and still I don't believe in that, but I do believe in the floor, basically having a high enough floor where you can be competitive and not people if you're going to give them basically like a gift for not spending money, I mean, that's something that should be addressed. Basically, bring up the amount of money that that they should be spending, and then go from there. And then that way, hopefully, they can manage what they spend. But other than that, I don't believe in the salary cap.
As a player, would you accept a certain cap if there was a floor, or cap is like no way?
No, cap is a cap.
No, okay, all right.
Well, no, I just think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you're right, because some of these clubs with the revenue sharing, they pocket the money, they don't spend the money, and I think there's got to be a floor. But I also think that we're going to be looking at a pretty long work stoppage after this season.
Yeah, I just think that there are maybe other ways that you can probably meet in the middle, but I don't think a cap is one of them. But maybe it's just more of whether you limit, like have a shorter free agency or something like that. I'm not sure, but maybe that's why you would lock up. I mean, I think the one thing they did say was like limiting how many years on a contract. So maybe you have free agency after 2 years, and then it can only have a certain amount of years. But they have to find. I don't think for me, I don't know if the union is ever going to accept the cap.
I don't think they're going to accept a cap.
Doesn't sound like it.
No way. I mean, I don't think so. Let's hope that they could work something out. But I just think it's going to be a while, and it's too bad, because right now baseball is starting to come back to where it was. The postseason, 2025 postseason was the most watched since 2017, and attendance was great last year. This year baseball is kind of crazy because the way everyone's playing, it's like nobody's really running away with anything.
Yeah, no, it's like you got a lot of teams under 500. It's like it seems like nobody wants to just take it or take it to the next level or take first place or whatever. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's just a great time because of how long the collective bargaining agreement was. It was 10 years, wasn't it? Before that. I mean, I don't know if I ever had a collective bargaining agreement when I played that was even close to, wasn't even 5. I think it was like the longest was like either 3 or 4 or something like that. So
yeah, it wasn't that long.
Yeah, so work stoppages were always right around the corner, right? So like in 90, we were locked out, right? So people forget that, but I don't, because that affected me.
Yeah,
90 we got locked out, and then in 94 we went on strike. So it's just like one of those things that that's just, I think that helps with I guess with how well the league does is at that longevity, but you hope that they can agree on something that
now I wanted to bring up another you played for Terry Francona, right?
Yes.
How was that, Derrick?
That was interesting, but no, no, he was new, so this is like his first year, like being a major league manager. But I thought he did a really good job. I mean, he was, obviously he did, he knew the players, he knew how to relate, had a really great sense of humor, and yeah, he did a great job.
That's great. Go ahead, Chris.
What were your feelings on all of the steroid that was happening? All the steroids that the guys were taking, because you've seen it up close, right? You've seen Bonds at the early part of his career. You've seen what he did after the 97-98 season.
Yeah,
he was just unbelievable. Sosa, you seen up front, Big Mac, Mark McGwire, all these guys. Like, what are your thoughts on the whole situation?
Yeah, I mean, it was like when I was coming up, it was like you see guys kind of they add on this crazy weight, and they always said it was working hard in the gym, which, I mean, you do believe at that time because you had no idea kind of what that was like, the steroids or what they were doing. Like, I don't know if that really came, like the really steroid, like hearing steroids come out was until like 98. Right.
I
want to say like 1998 because that's when they saw that Mark McGwire, that Andrew in his locker or whatever it was.
That's
and so it's like people didn't really
or something.
Yeah. So people didn't really, I mean, they knew people were getting bigger and they thought it was, lifting weights, but obviously there's other people who like, oh, they're having some help somewhere, right? So there's nothing really we could do. You could do about it because it wasn't illegal in baseball.
Right.
It's illegal, but it wasn't illegal in baseball. And so it was like this is what they chose to do. And that's all you can do about it. You couldn't really, looking back, you're like, well, like now like you're looking back at other guys going, oh yeah.
Now you know.
Like, yeah. But I can say there's Bonds before he obviously was using that. He was a great hitter, great player.
Right.
Even McGwire was another guy. He hit balls to the moon even, back then. So, I mean, so you kind of like, well, it help guys, but, obviously it's not that easy to hit a baseball either, so it's harder. So it's just one of those things.
Do you think those guys deserve to be in the Hall of Fame? Like Bonds and Roger Clemens and all the big names?
I mean, obviously a lot of people did it in that era, so it is an era. So I would probably say yes at this point.
Yeah, and I get that. And plus, let's face the facts. The commissioner's office had a blind eye to it. They were just happy with Sosa and McGwire, the home run, the race for Maris, and they turned their heads. They knew they had to know something was going on. And then you said they did find that in McGuire's locker. So they turned a blind eye. These guys, I know it's a sore spot, but there's other guys in the Hall of Fame that did other stuff. Okay, if we're talking in the 50s and the 60s, they did the little pills, the speed, and all that other stuff. So stuff's been going on forever. So right? But
exactly. No, I mean, you point back to. I mean, you can even go back even further to like even the. If you're talking about like manipulating the ball or whatever it is, but like even the dead ball era, like, I mean, that's one of those ones you use the ball until basically the seams fell apart. Basically, I mean, it's one of those things like, and those pitchers are in the Hall of Fame. So a lot of those pitchers, so it's like hard to say, but that's an era, the dead ball era, and people from that era is. They got in because of it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you said it perfectly. It wasn't illegal at the time.
Yes.
Right? They weren't testing for it. So, I'm not saying that it's right to do that either, but like you said, it was an era. And I listen, like you said too, Bonds was already a great player before that, right? He already won MVPs. The guy was already this 5-tool player, great player. It's not like he came out of nowhere and started to become this, this monstrous player. But so I agree with what you're saying 100%.
You played for the Expos, and Alou was your manager. So that's one more guy I want to ask you about. How was Alou? How did you like playing for him?
Yeah, here's another one. He's another guy that you kind of take some. He's like, baby, I want you to be ready. Like he's always, like he was a guy who's always talking to you. I think that's what great managers do. They communicate to their players well, and I think that's what he did. And you knew when he was when he's gonna put you in. You knew when he was gonna take you out, and so it's like you're not surprised, right? So it's like he was always a guy who I really liked, and just a good manager.
And Vlad Guerrero Sr. was on that team, right?
Senior, yeah, he was just Vlad back then. But yeah, he was just a young kid. It's like maybe 20, I think he was. But he was in there, and Felipe was always afraid that he was going to get hit. Like they were going to hit him on purpose because he could hit like anything from here to from his head to his toes. So they were like, well, we can't pitch around him, so we got to hit him. That's what he was thinking. And he could hit just about anything. I mean, it was just amazing.
He was great. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, that was a guy you couldn't pitch around, even if you tried to. I mean, you could bounce the ball to him, and he was going to find a way to hit it, right?
It's true.
Who was like one of your favorite guys? I know you mentioned Andre Dawson as a guy you learned from, but who was one of the? Give us some of the guys that you just favorite teammates that you played with.
A lot of them are like Mike Harkey or Chuck McElroy or like even Sean Dunston. I had Greg Vaughn, Pat Listash. Who else? David Halls. Who else? Craig Biggio, Bagwell, Brian Hunter. I had a lot of guys that I had some good teammates with. Some of my favorite teammates.
Now you played 2 years in Japan, right?
Three. Actually 3.
Oh, you played how many? I'm sorry, Derek.
3 years in Japan. Yeah.
Okay.
My last year got hurt. Got a plantar fasciitis, but yeah.
Okay. Now, how was it making an adjustment playing, here and then going to Japan and playing in Japan?
Well, I think it was just more of trying to get used to like the rhythm of it. They do on the pitcher's pitch. They do have like a little slight hesitation. They used to lift their leg and then they kind of bounce and then they come. So you're trying to get that timing down. The field, some of the fields were actually all dirt fields. Some of the fields were turf. A lot of the field were turf, but they had a lot of all dirt. But then also they have a ball. The ball is like a sticky ball, right? It feels sticky. It's like tacky, like a tacky ball, and it doesn't feel like a regular leather ball, like the leather balls that we use. And so you have to get used to throwing that and getting used to that. And that was another one. But other than that, after you get like settled down and get used to all that stuff, it becomes like just like normal baseball.
And how did the fans react to you in Japan? Like, are they friendly? I mean, I don't know if they're as crazy as some fans get here.
No, they're very
respectful.
They're great. Yeah, they basically they create songs for you. I think I had like 3 or 4 different songs, and when you get a hit, they're like, man, and they start singing, and you got to wave, and then they'll stop playing. But then you hit another one, then they're like dancing, and so it's like it's just a fun time if you're when you're playing out there, and obviously if you do well, it's even funner. But yeah, they were really respectful, and then very intelligent. They know the game, obviously, and
yeah,
they're pretty good.
Yeah, and and they gave us Otani.
Well, among others, right? They had
Yeah.
Ichiro and
Ichiro.
Jackie,
Ichiro. I mean,
yeah.
Ichiro had like two huge careers.
Yeah,
One in Japan and then one here. It was like
exactly.
he was just unbelievable.
It's like he has like 6,000 and 5,000 hits or whatever he's got. Like, it's crazy.
Could you imagine if he played here in the United States for his whole career? Forget it.
I could imagine. Yeah.
Every record probably. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, you had a couple of big years in Japan. Was it are the stadiums smaller? Is it what helped you there a little bit, because you had some pretty big power numbers there?
No, they weren't smaller. I mean, but they do have some small parts, but all of them weren't smaller. But the one we played in was like kind of like Shea. I always compared it to Shea, the one we played at in Chiba. But it was windy, right? So always windy there because we were right off to the ocean right there. And so, but it was I learned how to do like be more condense my zone a little bit and look for more different pitches, right? So I could almost say, okay, I know exactly what pitch you're going to throw me. But I learned a lot more as a hitter when I was there rather than when I was in the United States. In the United States, I always tell people, I was there. I got there. I was there for survival. I was trying to survive because I would take any pitch that they throw me and I'd try to hit it. Right. So, and then later, as I got older, playing in the States, I started to realize, okay, can't hit everything. I got to look for my pitch a little bit better, So, and then my walks and everything would go up. So basically, I took that over to Japan, where I was looking for my pitch in certain areas, and that was kind of what I worked with, and that helped me hit for more power rather than try to hit everything out. I could hit, in a certain area, and I would hit that out. So.
Yeah, one of our viewers wants to know, was it harder hitting off of, I guess, Japanese pitching or American pitching?
Oh, no, that's good. I mean, now there's some really good Japanese pitchers now.
Definitely.
But American pitching is a whole lot better.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah, we're at the end with the Japanese years. Did you have any opportunities to come back to the States, or that was it?
No, I think maybe I got like a AA.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, I think I'm good. Yeah. And then I decided to go into coaching. That's when I started coaching with the Cardinals. But
okay,
I did interview with the Yankees and Cardinals. Those are the only two.
Can't go wrong coaching in either of those organizations, really.
Sure.
Two of the best organizations ever. All right, Crit, I can't believe time is like flew by. It's almost, the hour's almost up. But Chris, you wanna get into the last questions that we ask?
Yeah, Derrick, we always ask this last question at the very end to our guests. If you were named MLB commissioner today, what changes would you make to the game?
Ooh. Oh, wow. Changes.
Well, one of the questions someone brought up earlier was, do you like the ghost runner? Obviously, we were talking about that earlier. So you don't like the ghost runner. So that's one that we know. That's one change I think everybody would make.
Well, I don't know. I always thought about the ABS. I do think it's actually better. Not better, but it's not that bad. I thought it was going to be worse. I do like. I would probably say maybe. Maybe starting pitcher has to go. Maybe starting.
A little longer.
No, yeah, a little longer. No, I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know what that would be.
Do you? Okay, here's one. Do you like openers? Do you like when they start a guy for? Oh, okay. I can't stand that.
No, I don't like openers. I just think that it can do more harm for your team than it does good. But no, I don't like that at all.
Yeah,
it's something we always talk about, right? That's something that we kind of look forward to during the season, and then even in the postseason, right? You want to see, your ace against my ace, your number 2 versus our number 2. Like those were the matchups we wanted to see. We don't want to see some opener come in for an inning and then it's a bullpen game.
Exactly. Right.
I agree. I think that should be. I don't know how you can outlaw it, but that's something we hate to see too.
Yeah, and really, like watching that ghost runner, it just drives me nuts. And thank God that they don't have it in the postseason. I mean, placing somebody on second, I get it because of COVID, they had to do it. But once that was done, stop that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't understand.
And yesterday, didn't Chris, who was it? Wasn't somebody pitching a perfect game for 7 innings yesterday? And they pull him from the game.
Yeah, the guy from the Marlins, Yuri Perez, was throwing a perfect game. Yeah, against the A's, and they pulled him after 7 innings. His pitch count was like in the 90s, 90 something. But he's a guy that's been hurt a lot, and I think he just came back from the injured list. So I don't know if they wanted to push him too much. He's a young guy,
Well, no, I can understand that, but
I don't know. I think they would have to drag me off the mound if I have 7 perfect innings going.
I'm sure the kid didn't want to come out. I'm sure he didn't, but
I just feel like that would have never happened. Before all of this stuff, because 7 perfect game, that's once in a lifetime, but even less than once in a lifetime. But anyway, Chris, you have any last questions before I just go?
No, I think all I could say is thank you a million times, Derrick, for coming on and sharing all these great stories, man. We appreciate it, and all the best with you and your health. Hopefully everything goes well, and if there's anything you want to share with us, to everybody else, you're more than welcome.
No, I'm good. I just hope that everyone is healthy and just has a great life and great time. That's all.
Thanks. And we really, really appreciate it. It was so much fun talking to you, hearing about your career, talking about your dad, and just everything. A lot of fun, and we appreciate it. Real quick before we go, I just wanted to quickly go over our schedule real fast. Wednesday night, I will be on at 7 p.m. for the Pesky podcast. And Wednesday, we will have our usual Wednesday night show. Chris, it's going to be a different format, right? Clearing the bases.
Yeah, I think we're going to go to kind of an open field type of thing where we're going to bring up certain topics, maybe talk about the first half and kind of preview the second half. So just kind of working things out, but that's what it seems like it's going to be.
Okay. And that's it. We will see everybody Wednesday night. And thanks again to Derrick May. Have a good one.
Take care.